Good morning. My name is Eran Inbar, and I'm the CEO and founder of Prisma Photonics. And I will speak with you today about sensor-free transmission line monitoring. But before explaining what is sensor-free monitoring, I would like to speak about why do we need to monitor our transmission line. And one of the main reasons is that the capacity of the transmission line today is the bottleneck for the deployment of renewable energy to the grid. That's why Bill Gates is saying that this is the key for a future of clean energy. And that's why you suggested to hug pylons and not tree. And if I will combine it with the fact that the grid is aging, and the average age of the grid is 50 years, you would see that just in the US alone, you have 10,000 renewable projects waiting in queue to be connected to the grid. So we can build new grids, new transmission line, but that will take decades, or we can use technology today to enhance the grid capacity. But we need to understand that it's not only a question of monitoring, it's rather a question of scalability, because eventually this technology needs to be deployed over thousands and thousands of kilometers. And you can probably develop great sensors, and you can probably do great pilots over 1 tower or 2 towers, but how do we scale up from a pilot into thousands of kilometers of deployment? And the answer is sensor-free solution. How to monitor it without deployment of any sensors at all. So how we can sense without sensors? The answer that in our solution, we can use the pre-existing fiber optics cables, those fibers that are in the transmission line as sensors. So our installation is just taking a system into the substation and connect it to the fiber. And that's it. Once we're doing it, a single system can turn 500 towers into fully monitored infrastructure. And that's scalability. And it's not only scalability, it's also ramp-up time, because this process takes hours instead of months, and in some cases even years. And this is, of course, also cost-effectiveness, because we don't need to deploy anything. And I can give you an example. One of our customers recently did a deployment over 1,000 kilometers of transmission line, and the installation process just took a few days. In order to enhance the grid capacity, the solution is called dynamic line rating. We are practically monitoring the environmental and the grid parameters and allow ourselves to drive much higher current and enhance the capacity by up to 50% without changing the safety parameters, and in some cases be even safer. So we practically can use the existing infrastructure in order to get up to 50% more capacity without the need to do any change in the existing infrastructure. And it's important to say that this solution, it's not a recommendation to the utilities. This now regulator, both in the US and Europe, are writing the regulation, and this solution will be regulated very soon, 1, 2, or 3 years from now, and utilities will have to start use this solution in order to enhance grid capacity into the maximum. Our technology is using for a variety of use cases over the grid. And dynamic line rating or enhancing the capacity, it's probably one of the important or the major use cases, but there are many others. One of them is enhancing significantly the reliability and resiliency of the grid by monitoring failures in real time or by detecting risky events like wildfire and extreme wind and icing and lightning strike or vegetation touching the infrastructure, or by taking the old, I would say, very cost and very expensive annual maintenance procedure and shift the utility into very cost-effective, very modern, data-driven maintenance. Just a brief about us, Prisma Photonics. We started our journey 5 years ago, our headquarters in Tel Aviv. We are right now in revenue stage, deploying our solution with tier 1 utilities globally, and we are fundraising. and therefore I will be glad to speak with any one of you later today. Thank you very much.